but I hadn't really processed that. So there's like a lot of cool things like where it's made with potatoes. So pav bhaji and biryani are mainly like veggies and potatoes and really cool sauce. So that's what's up. Does anybody care? Oh, cool, a white guy talking about Indian food that he's never eaten or cooked. I know. God, I hate myself sometimes. But in a realer sense, I love eating food. How did I meet Gabs? We were cast to do a movie together, and then I drove 8 hours because I wanted to meet her. And then I met her, and then we never did the movie because I wasn't in charge of it. And if I was in charge of it, I would have made it. By the way, I have a movie like that's basically done and it's still in editing. But I kind of want to take it on tour and like go to a bunch of different cities and watch it with people in movie theaters. Weren't I gonna get married last year? How did you, who said that? How did you know that I had said that at one point? Because at the beginning of 2021, I was like, or at the end of 2020, or at the beginning of 2020, I was like, bro, in 2021, I'm getting married. That's just I'm at least getting engaged. It did not happen. But in 2020, I had lofty expectations for myself. We always disappoint our hopes from 2 years ago. I found that to be true. You have it on your YouTube channel? Me saying that? That's awesome. Okay, so the movie that I have that's on like it's still being edited, or it's done being edited. Basically, it's like a psychological thriller, and the title is Deeply Depraved, and it's about a guy who is like in a fully realistic simulation. It feels like you're there, and then they can't get. He's there with another guy. And you can't leave the simulation until one person wins a fight. And at first they were thought, okay, we'll just like fist fight, and then the fist fight ends, and the audio keeps repeating, "You must finish the fight to end the simulation." And they realize that they have to kill the other person. When somebody has to kill the other person in the simulation for it to end. But you're not actually hurt because it's a simulation. So they're freaking out. They don't want to do it. Then my character does it, and then kills the guy, and then finds out that he liked how it felt. But it was a simulation, so there are no consequences. But now he's in the real world with the knowledge that he likes the feeling of killing people. So that's the movie that I made, and there's a huge twist to it. A huge twist. So you might see like a trailer for it this year. There's a huge twist though, so it'll be interesting to see how everybody reacts. But I really would like to go to a bunch of different cities and watch it with you guys in theaters. So that's the plan. And then take selfies with you and say, okay, let's get it. Do you guys remember when Timothée Chalamet was in that Dune interview? They're doing the Instagram thing, and they're like, what would you be? And Timothy's was a sports star. And then he was like, what did he say? He was like a sports star. And then he went like that. So what was up with that? One more question. I saw somebody post about this recently, that Corbin Blue's armpit hair was their like sexual awakening in High School Musical. Now, I had for real, I had a big reaction to it when I saw it. But I thought it was just like understanding what going through puberty as a man could turn out to be like for me. That's what I found out when I watched Corbin Blue's armpit hair popping out of his red basketball tank top. And I didn't attribute it as like, dang, bro, I want to make out with Corbin Blue. But I was like, this is interesting. And it's like a serious thing that was drilled into my mind. And whenever someone says Corbin Blue's armpit hair, I'm like, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's because he's stretching and he goes like this. You can see my armpit hair. But I'm no Corbin Blue. I don't know. And then people, whenever I get on live, people always ask me about my sexuality. And for so long, I've been like so steadfast on like, I'm straight. I'm just not a jerk. But the more I grow older, the more I'm like, I think it's weird that people are asked to label themselves online so much, when I feel like a very close friend talking about sexuality is like a nuanced conversation. So when it's such a nuanced conversation with a close friend, it feels weird to put a solid label on it publicly online. Do you know what I mean? This is not me stating something about myself. I know that I have said it online before, but I think that I'm not going to say it anymore because there's so much nuance to sexuality that I think pinning it down to those three major ones, straight, bi, or gay, I feel like pinning it down to those three things kind of excludes a big part of the conversation. And it's not something that should be taken lightly. And I don't eat babies, but your mom ate mine. Define nuance. Like having more depth to it. Oh, that was the Chase Rutherford thing. No, but like having more depth to the conversation and not just being like, yeah, bro, I think that I like kissing girls, so that's probably the be all end all. Because can I tell you an honest story about myself? I was talking with Gabrielle about like, I think we were talking about celebrity crushes or something, and I could not come up with a girl celebrity crush because I don't really feel that way about like celebrities. I kind of like am singularly focused on like there's a person that I like and I'm not attracted to other people. But in the back of my mind the whole time I was like, but Matt Bomer from White Collar. I couldn't think of a celebrity except for Matt Bomer. And I was like, why is that in my mind? And then I found myself looking up Matt Bomer shirtless and scrolling through images for so long. And I would find one and I'm like, yeah, that's what I remember from White Collar, but there's a different frame that was even better. Because I wanted to show Gabrielle the perfect frame. And then I was like, God, forget this. Maybe it was from Magic Mike. Because he was in Magic Mike too. So I look up Matt Bomer, Magic Mike, shirtless. And I'm like, these pictures are not satisfying the picture that I thought that I was gonna find. So then I went to YouTube and I was looking at the videos, and this is where I was like, I gotta get off my phone because I was frustrated that there weren't enough scenes of him in Magic Mike. I was frustrated. It's like, come on, man. And then I was like, dude, I just gotta put this down, download a picture of Matt Bomer shirtless, send it to Gabrielle, and go, look at this. and that was the end. But I remember that being so frustrated by it. Not being able to find the perfect picture to show her. And from that moment forwards, I decided maybe there's something more to sexuality. No, I just think that was a fun story. And Matt Bomer's a really cool guy, by the way. Billie Eilish, though. Okay, so now if I were to really think about it, Billie Eilish is a beautiful woman who is so cool and so talented. But I don't think that she would like me, therefore I could never have a crush on her, even a celebrity crush. Shout out Billie Eilish. I love her, but I think that she would not like me. So that's just how it goes. Y'all seen Ashton's new hair compared to Ashley?